If I've learned one thing from always staying one step ahead of the authorities, it's that speed is the most important thing on earth. The same is true for guitar. Everybody wants to play faster, but nobody wants to practice at all. So luckily, we're going to fake some mad guitar speed with a minimal amount of practice, and you might even enjoy it and start practicing for real. But this is nice because it kind of gets you, it kind of feeds that thirst, that need for speed. So what we're going to do is going to sound like this. Okay, so the trick here is the double hammer-on. This has been passed down through generations and generations of guitar players, and it's really a lot easier to do than it sounds, okay? So if you've watched any of the videos on this channel this month, I've been kind of doing this 3-note per string kind of method, and it has really opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. And one thing that has really helped with just kind of like increasing the speed of my hammer-ons, okay? Basically, you know, when you play an open string, it's just gonna ring out until you do anything. The easiest thing to do is to strike the string once with your pick, and then maybe come down, hammer on, right? Hammer-ons are great when you first start out. You kind of just keep it going indefinitely, right? Now the next step is to do a double hammer-on. What that means is you strike the string once, and then kind of get 2 notes after the initial one, right? So then eventually it allows you to do stuff like... Okay, now there's some really easy patterns that we're gonna learn that can kind of make it sound a little bit more impressive, a little bit more musical, and you're actually gonna know what you're doing, okay? So I'm rocking a Donner DST-400. This is a really cool new instrument that they sent me. If you watched the unboxing a few weeks ago, me and Davidas are rocking it out. I'm really loving this guitar. I'm going to talk more about this at the end of the lesson, so stay tuned for that. But super affordable guitar, sounds great, got a lot of cool features, which we're going to get to. But first we need to find out a pattern that we can kind of start flying through, right? So let's just start out with what we've been doing in the key of E. In the previous videos, if you haven't seen that, it's really easy because it's just a symmetrical shape. Open to 4 on the E string, and then the same thing, open to 4 on the A string, okay? Now, each of these is going to become a double hammer-on. So open to 4, and then open to 4. Okay, it might take some practice to kind of get to get tone out of every single one of these hammer-ons, but it's going to get a lot easier as we continue into the shape. In fact, it might seem stupid to start with this shape because this is the hardest one. This is the biggest reach out of all of them. So whether you use your pointer finger and your pinky, or your pointer finger and your ring finger, or if you're crazy, your pointer finger and your middle finger, doesn't really matter, okay? Just think of these notes, open to 4, open to 4. All right, now, these notes are gonna come from the major scale. We're gonna do this as a scale later on, but first, let's continue through the fretboard with this shape, all right? A string, a whole step, which means 2 frets, and another whole step, okay? So we start with a note, we go 2 frets higher, and we go 2 frets higher. That gets us from 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. I shouldn't have to repeat this anymore as far as a whole step and a whole step, right? Open 2, 4. Now if we do that same pattern, but we start on the next fret, 5, we go 2 frets higher from here, and 2 frets higher from here. Okay, so we get open, 2, 4, and then start that same shape pattern again on the 5th fret. 5, 7, 9. Okay? The beautiful thing is, that's going to be the exact same shape, the exact same intervals on the A string. Open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Okay? Now we can do double hammer-ons all throughout this. The beautiful thing is that since the open string is what's going to start a chain reaction of all these hammer-ons, it makes it really easy, right? So let's actually do one of the easier intervals after this open 2, 4, open 2, 4 one, and just go open 4, 5, open 4, 5. Okay, so much easier reach because there's only 1 fret. Again, see I'm only striking the string once. Strike 4, 5, strike 4, 5, strike 4, 5, strike 4, 5. Now, the next thing that you may notice, if you're trying it at home and it doesn't sound right, it might sound like this. There's that pause in between, okay? The other trick to making it sound like you're going really fast is the relentless nature of a triplet, okay? What a triplet is taking one beat and splicing it into 3 symmetrical smaller beats. So if you were to count it, you'd count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 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 triplet. Okay, it's easier to play it like that instead of as usually, you know, when we divide beats, it's into like quarter tones. And that's why when you're first starting out with hammer-ons, it might sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is fine, you can still be playing it on time, but it's gonna sound more relentless if you get that. Okay, these are triplets. So again, I'll do it a lot slower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So practice it at whatever tempo you want to. Helps to practice to a metronome or a backing track. But again, that's almost like real practice. We're trying to fake this here. So it's almost, the thing about triplets, it's easier for me to play them fast than it is slow, okay? And that may be a sign that I need to practice slower. No, no, no. Not when you're faking mag guitar skill, mag guitar speed. So we're gonna keep going throughout this entire shape. And the nice thing about this symmetrical shape, open 2, 4, open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, is we're getting all the notes, but we can call back to the open string to be the first count in our triplet, okay? So again, if we were just gonna do it on one string, open 2, 4, then the next one would be open 4, 5. And the next one's going to be open 5, 7. And the next one's going to be 7, 9. So you can just start right there. Okay? And that still sounds pretty fast. But the beautiful thing about switching strings is you can just do one. And you don't have to move your fretting hand. You just kind of have to repeat that chain reaction just a string down, right? The great thing about this key that we've been practicing in all month on the other videos, the key of A, you can do the same thing down a string to the D string. E string, A string, D string. And that's all in the same key, the key of A, okay? So let's go through all of the different frets all the way up to the 9th fret, starting 3 notes per string at a time, triplets into the next string, okay? We'll do it 4 times each, and then we'll switch one position forward. So we start open 2, 4, then open 4, 5, then open 5, 7, then open 7, 9, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice that I'm kind of alternate picking. When I get the E string, I'm picking down, and when I get the A string, I'm picking up. That might make it actually harder when you're doing it slow, but when you start getting speed, it helps to go down on one and up on the next one, okay? Now, going through that exercise is a great way just to kind of learn all these notes, but it does sound kind of incomplete when you get to the back. In fact, there's a famous example of open 5, 7. I think on the D and G string, now that I'm just hearing this, I'm just thinking about like, maybe it's A and D. Isn't that a Wolf Mother song? It's like the Joker and the Thief, right? Great song. Anyway, so just more practical advice that you can use these in riffs and stuff like that. But the reason that we're stopping at the 9th fret is because that after this, the next note in the key, this is where it becomes asymmetrical. All right. Now we've been doing this in the key of A. If you know anything about the A major scale, it sounds like this. Right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now, if we did this just on one string, it would be exactly what we've played so far. Open, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. There's a whole step and a half step to end it. Now, again, that's just the notes in A major. This is what we've been doing everything in. When you get to an E, it's the same thing. Open, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. The seventh note, starting each of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is the different one. In fact, E's place in the key of A, we call it having a flat 7, okay? Everything is the exact same thing, except starting on the A string, we go open 9, 11, 12. On the E string, we have 9, 10, 12. So we can continue on with the exercise to keep going all the way up to the octave to go through all the notes in the scale. But starting on the 9th fret, you'd have to go for the E string, open 9, 10, and for the A string, 9, 11, and then for the E string, 10 and 12, and then for the A string, 11 and 11 and 12, right? Now again, do you have to do this? No, you can do them. You can do whatever you want, but keeping it in the same key, keeping it diatonic would be the name for that. Then you do have to compensate for just that 7th note, all right? The beautiful thing about this and how we've been doing it is you can kind of keep it going. And then that's where you kind of would diverge. And then on an A, right? So I think it's just really helpful stuff to kind of think about. And then eventually, as your reach gets longer, you can do double hammer-ons without keeping it open, right? Like let's say we just wanted to do, I don't know, maybe let's take a traditional scale shape like B minor. It's like the 7th fret, the 9th fret, the 10th fret. Same thing right there, right? But because I'm working on my reach, I'm working on having my fingers come down with enough confidence to hit those strings in a place that's going to give you tone and not sound like, right? Once you start kind of just practicing more, you're going to hit the right spot more often than not, all right? So anyways, I do want to shout out Donner for sponsoring this lesson. I'm going to link you to this guitar in the description because if you watch this channel, Donner has sent me a lot of instruments. This is by far the best guitar they've ever sent me. I really dig this. They're showing this off at the NAMM Believe in Music Festival. Again, they really sent me some cool keyboards too. They have like a lot of new stuff coming out. So they're definitely an up and coming brand. The price is definitely like super right. There's a lot of cool features about this. It actually has a coil split here, which is something that you do not see on inexpensive guitars, right? Like that sounds. And then you can like just split it and. Like, it's kind of crazy how good this guitar sounds relative to anything else in this price range. Some other cool features are the tuners. They got the vintage style tuners that I like on like the... It really reminds me a lot of my 62 issue Strat, to be honest, even down to the color. The funny thing about the color is it's an alder body, right? It looks green in person, but on camera in this room with the lights on it, it looks blue. So what color is the dress? I don't know. Blows my mind how that kind of just how that translates to it. But I mean these pickups are they just sound great. So again, super awesome guitar. I think my favorite thing about it is just the weight of it. A lot of the less expensive guitars kind of feel like cheap, but again, it's got like the back plate on here. It's just got a great weight to it, and the neck feels like a vintage instrument. The tuners are probably my favorite touch. I'm such a sucker for like the vintage retro style tuners. So, anyways, please, if you guys are interested, check out the link below. It's a really cool guitar. It sounds like a guitar that is much more expensive than it actually is, because that's the theme of the video. You sound faster than you actually are. You have a guitar that sounds more expensive than it actually is, and everybody had a great time. So thank you again to Donner for sponsoring the lesson. Thank you to you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.